Hey. Funny Stuff says, I think it's trial time, or right before? Yes, exactly. It is trial time. So let's go ahead and take care of that, shall we? Head over to the game tab and let us begin. All right, May 11th, 9:40 a.m., High Court of Kirain. Accused lobby. I wasn't able to find any conclusive evidence yesterday. But if I can figure out Lady Kira's motive for threatening the High Priest, then maybe... you look down in the dumps. Nick, today well... Don't look so down, Maya. I'm going to defend you with everything I've got. You're gonna die. Oh, God. Yeah, you do well to see this insanity while you still can. No, actually, wait. I thought it was somebody entirely different. I thought it was Papa. As I said yesterday, I'm going to defend my client in court. Well, know this. You shall not witness a miracle of the sort that occurred last time. The moment she is found guilty, you, too, will be found guilty of abetting the accused. Oh, hi, Omega. How's it going? And Mapley. Thanks for showing up, guys. Appreciate it a lot. I never claimed to be a miracle maker, but I am good at discovering the truth. And unlike miracles, the truth is always waiting to be found. The truth, you say? Then it seems you have chosen your fate. This shall be your very last trial. Yeah, right. I'm a smooth talker, I think. Nick, I'm gonna prove you innocent, Maya. You'll see. After all, you have to introduce the Plumed Punisher, warrior of Neo-Twilight Realm, to the folks back home, right? Right! I may be a defendant this time. But I'll be by your side like always, Nick. Awesome. Thanks, Maya. This place is tough on lawyers. I'll need all the help I can get. Plus, it's always good to have you on the team. It'll be like old times. Well, it's time. Let's go. Yeah, we get it, Rafa. You hate Nick, but stop giving him death threats. Oh, she's not threatening she's gonna kill him. She's just like, by proxy. And also, Mapley has posted adorable dogs in the float zone, if you wanted to take a look at that. Okay, May 11th, High Court of Kirain. Hello, foreign judge. Good to see you again.
Let the trial of Maya Fey begin.
The defense is ready, Your Majesty.
And this asshole...
Now, I only wonder, like, who's going to be the prosecutor over in the States now that we've got Nayuta over here? Huh? Is that not how this works here?
Quiet! Can't you see Prosecutor Sudman? He is absorbed in silent prayer.
Great. The trial's barely started, and the judge is already mad at me. He's very devout for our prosecutor.
Why is the accused standing over there?
She's my sidekick. I mean, I'm not colluding with the defense. Oh, well... Why can't the defense be over at that desk? There's a good question. Your Majesty, in addition to being the accused, she is also my assistant.
The accused is your assistant, you say? Oh. Very well, then. A criminal does indeed make a fitting partner to a lawyer with a defiled soul.
That wasn't very nice. Nice face. Yeah, well, bad-mouthing lawyer seems to be a custom of sorts here in Kirain.
I must say, I am surprised to see you still here in Kirain, Mr. Wright. And even more so to find you in the Hall of Justice once more. I'm gonna have to cut your head off for that one. Anyway, I cannot fathom why you would willingly risk your life in yet another trial.
The answer is simple, Your Majesty. I am a lawyer, and this is what lawyers do. Although, to be frank, I'd rather be anywhere but here right now. You butterfly-sniffing bastard! Okay.
Such foolishness.
Ah, Prosecutor Sarmati, are you ready to begin now?
Yes, Your Majesty. The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay. But first, I promise you both this. I will cast your wicked souls into the fires of hell. Thus shall the soul of the victim attain salvation.
They're all bloodthirsty, goddamn.
Splendid. I would expect nothing less of you, Prosecutor Sarmati.
Please save the victim's soul, Prosecutor Sadbati! Punish the wicked lawyer who dares to stop these lace... Jesus. Shadow says the worst thing about Kuraine's court, everyone is basically Nayuta. Yay. I think I'll pass on that whole fire and brimstone deal. But I'm not surprised by your words or stance, considering what Apollo's told me about you.
Eavesdropping on my business, I see. That's another sin. So it was you who instilled that putrid, lawyerly guile within him.
Putrid? What?
He too must soon face the fires, lest his soul be lost to redemption. But I shall send you on ahead, so that he will not be lonely when he arrives.
Are you just gonna, like, be zipping back and forth between all of these courts just to mess with us? I'm starting to get the feeling that's exactly what's gonna be happening here. Sorry, but I'm afraid it won't be that easy. People say I never know when to give up. And I agree. Shadow says, I don't hate Nayuta, it's just that everyone hates lawyers so much for no reason. And then Omega says, I hate Nayuta. Fair enough. Nervous, Maya? A little. Feels like it's been ages since we stood side by side like this in court. Too bad I'm the defendant. Nah, don't worry. We haven't lost a case together yet. You're right. Let's give this everything we got, Nick.
Now then, Prosecutor Sarmati, would you please explain the case at hand?
Of course, Your Majesty. Let us begin the last rites of the victim.
Take it out the manuscript. Okay, Maple is asking, so question. Do you think Nayuta just keeps butterflies in a jar? If not, where do they keep coming from? I think he actually is spiritual somehow. Maybe it's like some kind of projection. I don't know. Does he have some kind of like sciencey projector somewhere around his vicinity to make those things? Shadow says, he was sitting under a tree or something in that one cutscene, right? What if that tree had swarms of butterflies living in it and he goes and captures them to release them in court? I would call him a menace myself. The souls are projected, but the real ones are not.
Maya Fey has been charged with the crime of murder. The victim of her heinous crime was High Priest Tarost in Me. He was conducting the purification rite when he was brutally slain.
And the cause of death?
Let us review the victim's autopsy report and the crime scene photo, shall we?
Gruesome.
The cause of death was blood loss from a stab wound delivered to the abdomen. The murder weapon was likely the Warbod dagger, which was used in the rite. However, the weapon has yet to be found, though the scene was thoroughly searched.
Dr. Beast's arch rival.
Dr. Butterflies! A sacred relic used as a tool of murder? The Holy Mother's wrath shall be most severe!
The murder itself took place at the height of the purification rite. The accused had donned Lady Kira's sacred robes, and the victim was there to offer prayers as a high priest of Kiraianism. During the rite, the victim and accused were the only two at the inner sanctum. Therefore, the only person who could have slain the victim is Maya Fey.
Yeah, the way you assholes set it up.
I must say, that does cast a great deal of suspicion upon the accused.
Indeed. Now then, allow me to submit this diagram of the crime scene as evidence in this case.
Cool. I guess we're going to have to keep that one in mind. I'm sure it's going to be important in huge ways. It's like, no, the victim should have been on the left side, not the right.
In Curianism, slaying a priest is a sin most grave and dreadful. As such, Maya Fey's soul shall be plunged into the lowest level of hell, the hell of
Tickling. Do you get tickled by butterflies?
There she shall be tickled without end for 500 million years.
That is a terrible fate indeed. Would the defense care to respond?
And here I thought the lowest level of hell was the hell of back pain. I don't remember killing anyone, and I don't have that dagger or anything like it. You're gonna have to go up there and, preach that yourself. As my client stated, she has no memory of the event as described by the prosecution. But more importantly, she had no motive to kill the high priest in the first place. And I'm sure you have some kind of an answer to that one. It's like, oh, but I do. She's scum and an outsider. We're all racist here, you see.
I thought you might say that. Nevertheless, the meaningless prattle of lawyers is utterly ineffectual here in the Hall of Justice. For all will be made clear by her benevolence, Rafa Padma Kirayan's insight.
So it is, and so it shall be. The divination seance reveals the truth for all to see.
How many butterflies do you have? I just can't wait. Somebody's got to mention it sometime. Here we go again.
Bailiff, please show in the royal priestess.
Well, let's just see what you find. Can we skip with the dance? I mean, it was very fancy before, but I feel like it was useless. It's Princess Rafa! Oh, how beautiful her benevolence looks. Glory to the Holy Mother for this blessed day. As popular as ever, I see. We are all talking in caps in the chat. Caps does not equal loud. I mean, sometimes it is.
Rest assured, good people of Kirain, I will defeat this murderer and her abettor. They shall not escape on their Freedom Express today.
What a joy it is to have the royal priestess back in the Hall of Justice. Oh, may the Holy Mother grant us her divine favor. Dihara Kurain.
Dihara Kurain. I hate everyone in this courtroom. She sure looks pleased with herself. Especially for someone who didn't know what a Freedom Express was until yesterday.
Is there something stuck to my face, Barbed Head?
Yeah, all that paint. I mean, no, nothing, your benevolence.
Now then, your benevolence, the divination seance, if you please.
That should be interesting.
Very well. Naina, my robe.
Yoink. I feel like Naina is going to end up being a murderer at some point, and that's going to be amazing if it is.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped.
Can you tattoo scales? Help, I'm thinking in dragons again. Actually, yes, I think you could technically tattoo scales. I don't know if they'd have any texture, though. You know, unless you did some really ridiculous body work to yourself. Like, ridiculous, like, plastic therapy. No, actually, not plastic surgery, not therapy. What the heck would plastic therapy be? Anybody, please help me with that one.
O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me.
Oh no. Omega says on one of the Discord servers I'm in, people are changing their profile pictures to My Little Pony characters and saying, one of us. That is a cult in disguise. You may want to book it out.
So that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Get on with it!
Oh god, yep, here we go again. I could choose to skip. No, okay. How long was this again? I feel like it was actually very long. You think it was only a minute or so? A minute of the exact same seance over and over again is still a minute of seance. At least they don't, like, make you sit through this entire thing every time you want to see the seance. Oh, don't worry, Cookies. Like, if you don't have anything to say, like, don't worry. It's cool. I'm just happy you're to check things out. So, okay. How did Maya supposedly kill this poor priest? Oh, okay. No, we gotta flail around a little bit more. The pool is, like... The pool is clearly very bright. But the gods are just, like, not pleased. Just like, no, more dance! Pretty sure there's at least 2 more seances, so you're glad they added the option to skip. I feel like after seeing it the first time, it's kind of redundant. Like, I feel like you could just, like, cut to the end of the dance and just see the transition. I mean, it's pretty. They probably spent a lot of money on it. Okay, again. Alright, Maya is in prayer. Or something. Priest is looking around. Oh, okay. Yeah, up comes the screen. He's probably reading off of it. The wind. Oh! Smelly stuff. Foot. Oh, God. All right, there's the... So, all right. What? Holy shit. That's pretty straightforward. Where the heck did Maya go? Oh, Shadow says, now that I can read both Japanese alphabet, not kanji, I can kind of read the Kirainese alphabet. Woo! Sweet.
The victim's Mitama has spoken. The divination seance is complete.
Great! Another clearly incriminating seance vision.
It could not be any clearer, O foul defense. The accused donned the sacred robes of Lady Kira and then attacked the victim.
Oh, how very terrible it must have been. The figure of Lady Kira lit against the dim lantern light, the scent of incense growing ever more potent as she drew near. One can almost sense the horror Abbot in me must have felt.
Boo!
The facts as presented by her benevolence are indisputable.
But that wasn't me! Do something, Nick! I'm working on it. That couldn't have been any clearer. Looks like I'm in for another uphill battle.
The accused committed the vile act during our ancient tradition, the purification rite.
Come to think of it, the Right's Guide explains the multi-part purification rite in detail. Ah, yes. The transformation rite. The high priest reads scripture while a priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira. The rite of water. Lady Kira enters the spring, and the high priest purifies her along with her dagger. The rite of fire. The priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul.
Indeed. It would seem that the murder occurred during the transformation rite. The rite dictates that the high priest stands in front of the spring. Therefore, the accused must have attacked him from the direction of the broken lantern. Well, Barbed Head, would you care to object?
Of course, because I know my client is innocent.
Ha ha, so you say. You truly do not know when you are beaten, do you?
I managed to pull it off last time with Albie. I'll just have to do it again. Elder Judge is disappointed.
You intend to find fault with her benevolence's insights yet again? It would seem lawyers are Paul Kunan
Jesus.
Creatures indeed. Look at that Paul going on, Paul going on, Paul going on.
But what exactly is a Paul Kudan? Someone who's a real piece of work, so to speak. They can call me anything they want. The only thing I care about is uncovering the truth.
So, Barbed Head, are you foolish enough to risk your life for your so-called truth? Because my insights are the truth. To deny them is to willingly dig your own grave.
Gulp. Right, you said something about a broken lantern showing up in the scene. I immediately refute that one.
The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part, the transformation rite, ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed, till finally he passed out from our world.
Or passed from our world, rather. No, he just passed out. It's cool. He's alive.
That is everything the victim experienced in his final moments.
Again, I'm gonna call bullshit.
Dressed in the sacred robes of Lady Kira, the accused rushed the victim head-on. The brutal stabbing she perpetrated could not have been any clearer.
Yes, it is plain for all to see.
No, it wasn't me! A sudden drowsiness came over me during the transformation rite. I didn't even get a chance to put on Lady Kira's robes! And of course, everyone will deny, because clearly I am a horrible, horrible murdering murderer.
You waste our time with such meaningless statements, accused. You cannot explain away the truths revealed by the royal priestess' divine insight.
How do you end up finding contradictions last time? Watch me do my stuff. The deceased's final memories include all 5 senses. Oh, you mean those words that appeared in the Pool of Souls? It looked to me like the bigger the word, the stronger the sensation was to the victim. Yeah, that's how it looked to me too. The sensations themselves are never wrong, only their interpretations. That's why I tried to point out mistakes in Rafa's insights the last time. So there could be a contradiction between what Abbott in me felt and her insights, huh? You got it. And I'm gonna find them this time, too. Hey, Professor Render. How's it going? Should I check how to point out contradiction? No, I'm cool. Nah, I remember how it works. Still, the sensations this time seem to fluctuate more than the ones from Albie's trial. In which case, I better keep an eye on changes in their intensity, too. Okay, time to point out the sensations that contradict the insights. Let's do it! Now, again. So what was the... Okay, so this is pause. This to flip between these guys. And then we got this. The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part, the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused's approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his life blood spilled over, his vision dimmed till finally he passed from our world. Interesting. Oh, Funny Stuff says, also, before you wonder, yes, the strength of a sense will be important. Don't remember if it's right now, but I know it comes into play later. Wanted to say that because I've seen people get stuck by not paying attention to the detail. All right. Well, let's go ahead and watch this again. Now, first of all, if you take a look at the lanterns here, it's clear that these lanterns are not broken. Read. And then... felt some wind. And then suddenly a demon. Why did you suddenly seem really freaked out there? I mean, she's in the costume now. You should have expected that. So, this is kind of interesting. Here's one thing that I kind of noticed. Here, if I can just skip through here. The incense got a little bit stronger, but I noticed that the footsteps stayed the exact same sound. So let's think about that for a second. The victim felt an intense pain. I heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. I don't know if there's anything about, like, the intensity of both of these things. I think it might, just because, like, it seems like both of these things seem to be held up in the exact same, I don't know, the exact same point. I don't know, like, you know, like the exact same importance. Approaching footsteps, smelled incense-laden robes. Well, yes, we can clearly smell and hear footsteps and all that jazz, but the footsteps don't seem to be getting any louder as this thing gets closer to him. So, I want to say, I feel like the sound is a little bit suspect.
Objection!
Let's see if I did it. The victim supposedly heard the accused approaching footsteps. But did he really?
What nonsense is this? Is it not abundantly clear?
No, it's not. Because there's something strange about those footsteps.
Strange? Explain yourself, bobbed head.
I'm doing it again! The footsteps are strange because the timing doesn't make sense. They don't get louder. They're not getting any louder.
And why exactly does that matter?
Please focus your attention on the incense the victim smelled. The scent grows stronger as the accused approaches. If the accused really had approached the victim, the sound of her footsteps would have grown louder as the scent of incense grew stronger. Yeah, yep.
But why, that makes perfect sense. How could this be explained, Your Benevolence?
Oh, well, there must be a reason.
Look, just the crowd is just like, oh dear freaking lord, it's happening again. No, no.
It is as they say, even a putrid worm of a lawyer will turn.
What does that even mean? He's not exactly singing your praises, that's for sure.
Still, we cannot discount this information solely on account of its lawyery sources.
Source.
Your Benevolence. Perhaps you must listen more carefully to the abbot's mitama.
Listen more carefully? What's he talking about?
Yes, it would appear so.
I shall try to refine the sensation. Of course. Refine the sensation? Yeah, I was being lazy, so I only got a little half of it. It was whatever. I can be as thorough as I want, damn it.
I can more accurately gauge sensations by deepening my communication with the mitama.
I didn't know you could do that. Why have we never done this before? Whatever. Surface level scan, that's all we need. What is it like playing Phoenix Wright? Like you're constantly being kicked in the balls and you get to kick like the opposition in the balls once, but very powerfully.
By refining a sensation, a clearer picture of the truth can be discovered.
O blessed mitama, I beseech you, hear me now and respond to my call.
That's such a powerful description of the game. It's all I got. All right. bells. What?
Footsteps changed to bells. What could this mean?
Bells? But the only bells at the scene of the crime were... Ah, that jingling must have come from Abbot Inme's bells! You mean those big things he had in his ankles?
Well, there you have it. The sound of bells was from the High Priest's own footsteps.
Then that means... If the footsteps belonged to the victim himself, it means it was the victim who was moving, not the accused! The victim was the one who went running toward the broken lantern from the spring. A far cry from what her benevolence insights would have us believe. Yeah. Hello. I guess I'm glad that people like the explanation I gave. And Shadow says, it feels so good when you win, but it feels like you're dying when you lose. Sometimes the story gets super dark, and even then you're technically not losing. You feel like you're dying of sad. I don't know. There's a lot of multi-layers when it comes to Phoenix Wright. Again, it just seems like the world is against you until finally you find the one thing. And sometimes, here's the thing. Sometimes you feel like it's a pretty strong argument. Sometimes you're just like, no, that's not a good argument at all. Why is this the winning thing? Why is this... I don't understand. Why is this my linchpin? I don't get... I've been there too. I'm like, I don't feel like I won.
But why would the victim have approached the accused?
Maybe he was trying to defend himself.
Please explain.
Oh, hey, what did I miss? Hello, Mario. We have just started the trial for Maya, and we have just found out that apparently the priest ran towards the, the spirit that had the knife that was attempting to try and kill him. Why? We're about to find out. He could have felt threatened by Lady Kira standing there with a dagger. If so, he might have thought to overpower her before she attacked. Still your voice! There's nothing but a theory, and a poor one at that! Be not led astray by this lawyer's obvious postulations!
While his insolence is inexcusable, I would ask that you calm yourself, Your Benevolence.
Is there something you would care to say, Prosecutor Sadmati?
Even if it was Abbot Inme who moved, it does not negate the accused's crime.
What do you mean?
The accused was likely waiting for the High Priest to approach.
Oh, bullcrap.
And as he neared, she plunged the dagger into him. It is as simple as that.
Bit ASMR.
Hello.
Oh, right. It really doesn't change much, does it?
Yes, it is as the prosecutor has said. In fact, it is as I meant to say all along as well.
Of course. Now you gotta get out of my ear.
No.
I wish I did have one of those microphones that could hear you from, like, all angles. Right, and that's why you were so shocked when you first heard it.
Understand now, lawyer, that contradiction you conjured up has come to naught. Once I hone my insights, it will vanish like the dying rays of the sun.
Very well. The victim... Okay, here we go. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. Ha! I know exactly what this is. Mario says, who has better powers? Nayuta's always fluttering veil or Godo's coffee summon? I don't know. Like, the coffee summon is pretty mystical in and of itself. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go... I'm going to go with the coffee, for sure. I mean, one of them's pretty. Another one's practical. Professor Render plays a lot of roguelikes. I need to play another one of those Wheel of Rogue streams at some point. I haven't done that in a very long time. Oh gosh, I'm surprised that my Nayuta ASMR didn't trigger it. I'm even wearing headphones. I don't know. I really wish I could, because again, like, it's just, you can hear the front part of that. You can't really hear any of, like, the left or the right.
See, the fact that it was Abbott in me who moved changes nothing.
Ugh, come on, Phoenix. You gotta keep your cool. The rhythm game from the arcade had Crypt of the Necrodancer music. Oh, really neat. That contradiction I pointed out must mean something. That one sensation changed after Princess Rafa refined her vision. It stands to reason that something else might have changed too because of the refinement. Groove Coaster. I should focus on any sensations that have changed, while searching for more contradictions between them and her insights. Nice hint, Phoenix. Okay. Well. Lanterns. Reading. Got some wind going on. Hello. What the heck was that? I saw a water. All right. So, hold the phone for a second here. We got water sitting up there. Let me take a look at the court record real quick. I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to be presenting first, but this is a muddled mess right here. Let me take a look at this. So, according to this, it would say... Yeah, it seems like the murderer and the priest should be, like, entirely swapped around here. Like, I feel like the priest should be, like... Yeah, quite definitely. Because, again, water, and then suddenly stab, fall over. That makes perfect sense. But how the heck do I tackle this first? Because this is a complete failure of everything. He kind of focused on saying, like, hey, take note of differences in, you know, the seance and whatnot. So I'm just going to try and point out the water splash. The sound of water. Objection! Clearly it was old No! Hold it! How do we know the purification rite was performed exactly as the way it was supposed to be?
That's easy. The customs governing the rite are very clear, and Abbott and me would have adhered to them.
Funny Stuff said, just got another scam on my phone. This time for a love horoscope. Oh, for God's sakes. Oh, I'm trying to remember. I got, oh, man. I got one text recently, and it was just like, it was basically saying just like, hey, we have this new statement about your student loans and something about saving you money. Please call back. And it's just all this stuff. And it tried to make it sound like it was from people that I actually already knew. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know you. Screw off. Well, that's strange.
Mr. Wright, would you care to explain just what is so strange?
Yes, I would ask you to consider the sound of the victim's footsteps. The sound of bells changed to the sound of water at one point. That's my purse. I don't know you. Kick.
What's this?
It's simple. The victim must have stepped in some water.
Oh?
Yes. And the only source of water in the inner sanctum is the spring. And therein lies the contradiction.
What contradiction?
I believe the rite started out as it should have. The victim stood with his back to the spring, and the accused stood right in front of him. But we now know the victim then moved into the spring.
Paul Kulka, That is absurd!
This means the accused's location differs from what her benevolence's insights indicated. Gotcha.
Then where do you propose the accused stood once she donned Lady Kira's robes?
Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, I believe Maya was standing here. Well, okay, I don't want to say that Maya was standing here, because that's just incriminating as balls. But I believe Maya was standing somewhere around here. Until this moment, we've all just assumed that Abbott Inme and Miss Fey were standing where they were supposed to be, as shown in this Wright's guide. In short, the victim should have been standing with his back to the spring and the accused in front. However, if that is how they were really standing, he couldn't have stepped into the spring as he approached her. The problem is, the victim did step into the spring. This can only mean that Miss Fey had actually been standing in the water.
But if this is true, then their positions would have been completely reversed.
Hurrah! I don't entirely know why Maya would not... I mean, this kind of hints at the idea that somehow we were in, like, the second... Like, one of the second parts of the whole thing. You know, just because there's the whole water ritual and then it moves forward into the fire one. But why wasn't she wearing the costume is the question. Or maybe I'm thinking too forward with this, I don't know.
What is going on here, Miss Fey? Were you really standing in the spring?
I'm sorry, but I barely remember anything about the rite. I'm a horrible priestess. The high priest would never make such an obvious mistake, did it?
What on earth? Is that even possible?
Oh dear, that's enough. Be that as it may, this does not overturn my insights. It doesn't? Let us say the accused was standing in the spring. So what? So what? This completely reverses their positions is what? That their positions differed from what is customary is rather curious. However, what does that change? It certainly does not erase the accused's brutal crime. Good old Phoenix. I guess you have a point there. You lawyers are an absurd breed. Never thinking ahead, you cling to the first insignificant contradiction you can muster. Yerk! Sounds like Princess Rafa has a pretty good grasp on what lawyers are all about. Oh, Maya, where would I be without your brutally frank commentary right now? Probably in a saner place. Is this contradiction really meaningless? But something really doesn't feel right. Did I take a wrong turn somewhere? I will now amend my insights to account for this new truth. Hey, Brandon, how's it going? Alright, the insight is now revised. Let's see where this leads us. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the poolside lantern. Now the contradiction is no more. But the truth of the matter still stands, no matter how stubbornly you deny it.
What do you have to say for yourself now, Mr. Wright?
Nick?
Your Majesty, this lawyer may have raised a trivial objection. But her benevolence's insights have no further inadequacies of any kind.
Yes, so it would seem.
Wait a second! But there is another contradiction! Bluffing directly out of your ass?
Still you flounder about, wretched beast. Though you rack that putrid brain of yours, nothing worthwhile will come of it.
Maya, please tell me you remember something that might help us out here. Sorry, I really don't remember a thing. But now that the place I was standing in has changed, who knows? That alone may cause a new discrepancy with Princess Rafa's insights. That's right. We now know that Maya was standing in the spring. A major change like that could very well produce a contradiction. Will I play Smash tomorrow? You know, I wonder what the temperature is going to be tomorrow. I'm just very curious to see whether or not I should or shouldn't be melting. Because again, I'd have to play it in that room. And in that room, the AC is in there. And there's no way I can, compress that. Anyway, let me see this. Oh, it's going to be hotter tomorrow. Oh, great. Because actually today was pretty good. So I thought, like, maybe if it still held up, but no. I think I'm going to be doing something else. I really badly want to. It's just like, I'd rather not put myself in, like, just a heat chamber of consoles and TV and computer and all that stuff running at once when I can't have an AC running at the same time. I'm looking forward to when the colder seasons finally come. You know, like the ones, fall, please get here. Also, I cannot wait for all of the summer allergies to finally go the hell away. Anyway, I should take another look at the inner sanctum diagram in the court record and confirm where Maya and Abbott in me were standing, and then focus on finding any discrepancies between their positions and the insights. Hold the phone. Gotta go turn that down for a second. Here. Turn off notifications, please. Oh, shoot! This thing's going on without me. Yes, stop. Pause, you bastard. Anyways, okay, so what ridiculosities we got going on? All right, victim commenced... So let's take a look at this. The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part of the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the springside lantern. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his lifeblood spilled over, his vision dimmed, till finally he passed from our world. Mapley says, I did some global service for the first time today. Pretty fun. Also, you're excited and terrified considering you start school. Refresh. What is global service? Not every day do I hear those two words in conjunction. All right. So, let's start from square one with this. Now, again, with the idea that the pool is directly behind him. Actually, no. The pool is not behind him. It's actually behind Maya. Or Maya is in the water somehow. Okay, reading that. You feel a wind on you. Okay, we've got incense, bells, water, pain. Interesting stuff. I'm a little bit flummoxed about the whole thing. But they did say some stuff about the court record probably have to do with it. Let me look at that real quick. Anyway. So if we take a look at that... all right. So technically speaking, doesn't this make complete total sense, though, if the broken lantern is not to the left or the right? It doesn't mention the broken lantern at all anymore within the this testimony, right? Victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading sutra. I mean, it says the spring side lantern. Yes. That seems kind of accurate. I don't know. It doesn't seem like he even runs towards the lantern at all. Oh, Mapley says, global services like helping the environment and such, to be specific, for the church, and services to help others and stuff. Ah, gotcha. Very nice. Okay, let me go look at the court record again. All right, so we've taken a look at that. Anything else that we could possibly pin on this? There might be a case of, like, I'm forgetting a piece of evidence or something. Though I feel like most of this stuff probably isn't going to be important till later. On the day of the rite, the water in the spring was already stained red when Abbot Inmi and Maya arrived at the inner sanctum. That's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's time to show that, because I think that's kind of a surprise thing. I don't think anybody knows about that yet. Let me see this. Shows the high priest's body, a shoveled out area of snow, and a lantern with a broken wind guard. Very curious. Is there a way that you can move those wind guards? Kind of want to see if that's the case. I keep thinking that the wind guards are absolutely what I'm trying to be gunning for here. You know, for example, nodded to the lanterns. Okay. Rushed to the accused, tried to fight her off by the... I don't see this possibly being it. But, looks at the lanterns. Let's play from here. Again, the wind, it howl. He runs to the water. Rushed the accused, tried to fight her off by the spring side. I mean, I don't really see the lantern at all. That's the thing. And I have no idea if that has any bearing whatsoever. Is there a way I can save? Yes. I definitely should, just because, like, I'm kind of in a bad area at the moment. Okay. Anyway, let me look back at the court record. Shows the high priest's body, shoveled out area of snow. Let's take a look at these things real quick. Oh, Shadow apparently says he sees it, apparently. Okay. Let's see. Where's the broken lantern in this picture? Is it that? Is that one back there? I don't... Oh, no. It's just the picture of the lantern from the from another picture. Got it. Fair enough. Yeah, I have this feeling that the whole blood thing is probably not a part of this whatsoever right now. Ritual curtain. Isolating it from the outside world, the entrance was shut during the rite. Interesting. Let me think about this. Curtain around the perimeter of the sanctum, isolating it from the outside world, the entrance was shut during the rite. Would that also shut off wind? That's another big question, because wind happens at one point within this entire thing. And that kind of makes me wonder whether or not maybe the door was open at the time. Of course, I have no idea if that's what we're trying to gun for here. Prayer flags found outside the ritual curtain. They have been sewn together into a long banner. A bloodstained letter that is illegible. And then there's this. Yeah, this is just talking about Lady Kira's return and all that. Yeah, I'll ask if I need a hint, but... Staging area. Full moon! And the curtain. Can you give me, like, a really subtle hint? Just because I'm trying to piece this together and I'm a little bit lost. Though you say apparently you see it. Oh, really? The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing the lantern sutra. First part of the transformation rite ended. He lowered sutra suddenly. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the spring side lantern. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. I keep thinking that it's gotta be this. You know, he rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the spring side. There's gotta be a lantern going on here. Do you need me to tell you the statement? Okay, all right. There's a good subtle way to do it. Which statement is it that I'm attempting to try and, you know? Maybe that's the main problem, is that, like, I've fixated myself on one part of this, and I might not want be. Like, I might not want to. Anyway. Three. Okay. Yeah, that's the one that I'm on. And that's exactly what I was thinking. You rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the spring side lantern. Okay. Here's a question. Maybe just looking in the background, we could see something. You know, like, I can definitely click on the site, and I can be like, do you see a lantern anywhere in this picture? Like, that might be it. Let's try.
Objection!
Oh dear, the music didn't stop. Your benevolence, isn't this statement inconsistent with the vision?
Inconsistent? I think not.
Exactly! That's where the inconsistency lies.
No, I believe it is in the defense's thought process that the inconsistency lies.
I guess there wasn't an inconsistency there after all. Also, check all the frames. Okay, alright. Let's... Is there any way to do this, like, frame by frame? I really honestly wish there was some way. Anyway, Rush the accused tried to fight her off by the spring side lantern. Okay. I mean, could it have something to do with this bit? Probably not. And then his eyes close here. Interdasting. Just kind of interesting that the wind shows up. Though I have a suspicion that this is probably not to do with it. Maybe it's this? Because again, currently in the site is the lantern.
Objection!
Oh, is that it? Okay. I'll take it. I had an inkling, but I'm like, Your benevolence, I've found a new contradiction.
You did? No doubt it is but another one of your vile attempts to slander my insights.
Nope. Take a good look at what the victim saw. It just might change your mind. The lantern flame behind the accused was flickering.
There is nothing unusual about that, especially as the wind had stirred.
No, that's where you're wrong. If the accused had been standing in the spring... Oh shit, wait a minute. Then what you see here would be one of the lanterns flanking the statue.
I fail to see your point.
My point is, something is wrong here. The two lanterns flanking the statue were both outfitted with glass wind guards. So neither lantern's flame should have been flickering in the wind in the first place.
Huh.
She seems pretty tickled, Nick. I don't remember saying anything funny.
I fail to see what you wish to prove here, but... Very well. I shall refine the vision and reveal the truth for all to see.
Hum.
Oh, blessed Mitama, I beseech you, fix your sightings upon the lantern there.
Alright, what will we find? Huh? That lantern doesn't have a wind guard on it.
And rightfully so. For the wind guard was removed to reveal the sacred flame within the Rite of Fire.
Like for the Rite of Fire.
Therefore, there is nothing odd about the flame flickering.
Say what? But when we searched the crime scene, those lanterns had their wind guards on.
That's because the police put them back on. The sacred flames have burned uninterrupted for hundreds of years, Defense. We could not risk them being extinguished, even during an investigation.
That would never fly back home. Well, welcome to Kirain, asshole.
Well, Barbed, are you done quibbling? If so, then it's time to bow down before this testimony of the Mitama.
Nick! Don't worry, Maya, I'm just getting started. All right, let's go over everything we know so far. Maya was wearing Lady Kira's robes and standing in the spring. The High Priest is thought to have been moving towards her, so I should look for sensations that stand in contradiction to this argument. Or the arrangement. I won't give up. I'm gonna find a contradiction that will undermine the accusation against Maya. Alright, well at least I got somewhere. Speaking of, now is an excellent time to save. Okay. Alright, so now we can see the lanterns a little bit clearer. Pause! The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part, the transformation rite, ended, he lowered the sutra suddenly. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the springside lantern. You call that a springside lantern?
Objection!
I don't think so. What could this possibly mean? That lantern clearly contradicts the insight. But this contradiction will overturn the entire case I've been building.
You're all right, Mr. Wright. 1 minute you shout out, and then the next you fall silent.
Yeah, I'm slowly going senile. Just excuse me, Your Benevolence.
Perhaps it is like the bellow of one who is barreling down a hill with no way of stopping. Is that not right, Prosecutor Sadmadhi?
He is not here for jokes. Don't get cold feet now, Phoenix. Even if this overturns the entire case you built so far, the only way to keep moving forward, is to keep forward, because that's where we'll find the truth. Sorry, but I'm not barreling down a hill. In fact, I'm in full control of everything with the indisputable contradiction I found.
Is that so?
The lantern behind the accused clearly, no, blatantly contradicts your insight. Does it now? One of the lanterns on the entrance side of the inner sanctum was broken. And if you watch what Abbot Inme saw in his final moments, you will notice that the lantern behind the praying form of Miss Fey is broken. The lantern behind Lady Kira, however, is still intact. In short, we are seeing two different lanterns in the seance vision. How could this be? And even if it were so, how would that contradict my insights? I think I know exactly what happened here. That little flyer conveniently covered up most of his vision. And also, there's nothing within the seance that predicts someone's ability to turn. Let me start by saying, the claim I'm about to raise will overturn the case that I've built thus far.
Will the defense please explain himself?
Based on the broken lantern, we can tell Maya and Abbot Inme's positions. The lantern positions. I'd say it's probably Maya and Abbot Inme's positions. Where the accused and the victim were standing.
But did you not just finish asserting that the accused was standing somewhere else?
I did, and I built my argument on that faulty premise. But thankfully, it has led us here. To the actual spot where Maya Fey was standing. Woo! Oh, Cookies and Milk is asking, what day do I stream Jackbox? I don't have a consistent day for that, but I do think that we're due for that, because I have not done that in a while. Boy, oh boy, those streams are like 12 barrels of fun. I'm so looking forward to Jackbox 6. It can't come out quick enough.
I must say, if the defense keeps changing its assertions in such a capricious manner, its credibility may come into question.
I'm willing to take that risk, Your Majesty, because I believe this will be the last time. I'd like to start by pointing out the actual spot where the accused was standing.
Very well. Show us where you now believe the accused was actually standing.
Based on the location of the broken lantern, where was Maya really standing? Welp, the only place that she possibly could have been standing was about here, between the broken and the good lantern. I wasn't thinking straight before, but now it's all falling into place. We know the victim had stepped into the spring. That means Maya Fey had to have been standing in the water as he approached. However, his memory, which has only now become clear, reveals that Miss Fey was standing by the side of the broken lantern. In other words, she was standing where she was supposed to be according to custom. Does that not bring us back to the very beginning? No. This is where things take a different turn. And I mean that literally. Waka waka. The victim had to have been moving towards the spring. That means that while he was moving, he had his back turned toward the accused.
What's this? You mean to say the victim turned around during the rite? But such an image appears nowhere in the seance's vision.
Actually, it does appear. It's just that no one noticed until now.
No one noticed? How could no one have noticed something so big?
There was a moment where the scripture the victim was holding was all we could see. Thanks to that, none of us could tell that he was, in fact, turning around in that moment. Yeah. Yep, there we go. It's coming together. I'll put your prayer beads down.
If it is as the defense asserts, then her benevolence's insights no longer make sense. How do you intend to explain that?
I don't need to explain anything because it's just as you said, Prosecutor Sadmadhi. Her benevolence's insights don't make any sense because they contain a huge error.
Such insolence!
A huge error, you say? Do explain.
The huge error is the order of the rights, the crime scene, the number of people there. Oh, am I ready? Am I ready to like grow the set of balls? I think I'm ready to grow that set of balls. The number of people there. I believe this is what happened at the scene of the crime. The victim was reading a sutra when suddenly he sensed someone behind him. He immediately looked back to see someone dressed as Lady Kiros standing there. Wishing to see who it was, he approached the robed figure. And, ouchies, that's when he was stabbed.
This cannot be!
Oh, but it can, and it is! The insight stating the accused stabbed the victim is wrong! And that's the real truth lying behind this testimony of the dead.
Puh!
Paw.
Puh. No, Kama!
Are you suggesting that there was someone else at the scene of the crime?
Have I misunderstood the voice of the Mitama yet again?
This cannot be! Faint. Oh, God. Whew, that was a close one. But I managed to divine the true meaning behind the seance vision somehow. I should add these new facts to the court record. Now the question is, who'd be crazy enough to dress in that outfit? Aside from a spirit medium.
Your benevolence, please allow me to take it from here. I will overturn this brash accusation of this faithless, putrid-minded lawyer.
Yes, I shall place my trust in you. Oh, she looks so sad. I failed! Again! She probably thinks I'm even more of a demon now.
Are you sure about this, Prosecutor Sodmati?
My work as an international prosecutor has taken me to courtrooms around the world. And in that time, I have learned to perform last rites for souls in trials lacking a seance.
Yes, of course. Forgive my ludicrous inquiry.
Moreover, I have with me a forensic investigator
Oh my freaking God!
I will show you all the most magnificent last rites ever seen.
I guess he really does think highly of Emma and her forensic expertise. Why are you taking my friends and turning them into enemies, you bastard? Oh, and I unplugged the thing. Give me a second. Let me just fix that. Beep boop. Sorry. Shoddy capture device. I'm impressed that he's come to understand their value. Then again, he is an international prosecutor who's solved tough cases around the world. Time to hunker down, huh?
Now then, let us continue with today's proceedings. Court of Defense, please tell us who the third party dressed as Lady Kira was. Your new claim has negated the insights of the royal priestess. So I trust you have some evidence to support it, correct?
Yes, of course. Nope. This third party must have really wanted to kill the high priestess. The priest, rather. I might be able to identify who it was if I had evidence of their murderous intent.
Well, we're waiting, Mr. Wright.
The evidence that can reveal the identity of the third party is this. Okay. Well, let's think about that one. Wanted poster describing the escaped prisoner mentions a sizable reward. Let me take a quick gander at this. Senior member of insurgent leadership and former paratrooper of a foreign land, wanted for crimes against the kingdom, considered armed and dangerous, contact authority. Yeah, nothing about that. I think it had something to do with the secret message, whatnot. Lady Kira's warning. It appears to be from Lady Kira to the High Priest. There are holes in... Yeah. So... I think the warning was... I think this would probably tell us. And express it. 3 days before the purification rite. The victim received a warning letter from an unidentified individual.
He did!
Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the high priest. The letter said, "Do not perform the rite." But the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the high priest was murdered.
Who do you suppose sent that letter?
A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. Alright, I loosened something in my throat and I don't know how or why.
Peace! I don't understand. I'd heard the Lady Kira that has been in the news of late only hunted rebels. If so, why would she have killed the High Priest?
Excellent question. Maybe it would help to think of it this way. What if the High Priest had secretly been a rebel? Everyone's gonna lynch me. The High Priest, he couldn't possibly have been a rebel.
The High Priest, a devout follower of Kyraianism, a rebel? Do you even comprehend the blasphemy of which you speak? Well, do you?
I, too, found it hard to believe at first. But as I continued my investigation, it started to become more and more plausible. Boy, that smug face is going to get me killed.
The third party was the rebel hunting Lady Kira, and the High Priest was a rebel? Your mockery of Kyraianism, no. Of the kingdom of Kyraian itself knows no bounds.
Whoops. That shameless political lawyer, he's making a mockery of our religion. No, I swear I'm not, sir. Just trying to make a point.
As a faithful Kyraianist, I take issue with these claims. And I am loath to admit them into today's proceedings.
I don't like where this is going.
The defense's claims are but vile blasphemy, tantamount to spitting on the Holy Mother.
Is it really that big of a deal, Maya? Abbot in me was a distinguished monk, and very well respected, too. So, yeah. Please don't let this turn into an international incident.
But fear not, good people of Kyraian. The rantings of this putrid-brained lawyer who seeks to sully the soul of the deceased shall come to no avail once I conclude these last rites.
Hum-diddle-hum.
The prosecution's assertion that the accused killed the victim remains unchanged.
But the victim was stabbed in his abdomen. How is that possible when he had his back turned toward Miss Faye? Someone else must have killed him.
Are you sure about that? You may have invalidated the seance, but do not let it go to your putrid head.
Your putrid, pointy head.
The karmic flow of this trial is, as yet, still in my hands.
How could he be so confident? He's got spirits on his side, and a very obnoxious wavy cloth.
Something has occurred to me, you see. And your allegations of a third party are but a deluded fantasy. And I shall prove that by calling a new witness to the stand.
How could there be a goddamn witness?
An eyewitness who will deliver a definitive answer that will dispel the defense's alliteration.
An eyewitness?
Very well, let's call this eyewitness to the stand.
Ah? Oh, this guy. Yeah. The guy that I was seriously concerned about. It's him again.
Well now, he has to be the shaggiest witness I have ever laid eyes upon. Please state your name and occupation.
What the okay, I'm trying to remember what voice I gave this guy. It was not Scoob, it was not Shaggy. Oh shoot, because I really like the voice. I'm just trying to remember what the heck it was. Shoot, does anybody remember? I really badly want to do the exact same thing. But the problem is I haven't played the game in 2 weeks. I don't want to just look it up on stream. That's going to be a super waste of time. Hello? Doesn't appear anybody knows. Oh, what was the voice? What was the voice? You'll go find a timestamp on one of my streams. I don't have a timestamp on anything. What the heck was it? Here, where's that one VOD that I recorded? Let me see. Where are you? It's been a while. Oh, you'll get a timestamp and you'll give it to me. All right. Give me a second. I'm actually going to mute my PC speakers for just a quick moment. Because I want to bring this thing up, and I want to find... Where exactly was this? It was like a while into it. He just sort of showed up out of nowhere. He's just like, oh, hi, friend. I don't know who you are, but you seem like a predator. I kind of had like I had a sense that this guy might be our convict on the run, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I definitely thought about it. Jeez, yeah, I have no idea when that happened. Was it in the middle of the stream? Was it in the... Yeah, I'm sorry for, like, taking so much... Oh, here we go. Oh, God, yeah, he's... Freaking wild man just, like, eating wildlife and whatnot. Here. I'm going to unplug my headphones for a second. You guys will not be able to hear this, but I can. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, I'm about to hear a little bit of his dialogue now. Okay, I haven't actually said any voices for it yet. Give me a moment. Okay, it's a little bit southern. Unless it suddenly changes out of nowhere. I'm going to check it real quick and hear, like, another line. Yeah, it's basically southern, essentially. Very well, I'll just go for that. Plug it in, turn on the audio. I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was something, like, vastly, ridiculously different. Yeah, I apologize for, like, taking that much time, but anyway.
Oh, I'm, you know, that so-and-so, whatchamacallit? Yeah. Hame, no. Anonymous TBD.
Freaking great.
At least that's what they've been calling me. TBD? As in to be determined? Can't you just tell us your real name?
At least that's one name that I can definitely be like, there's the pun.
The witness has suffered a blow to the head, rendering him, amnesiac. Therefore, I named him Anonymous TBD in my report, but he thinks TBD is part of his name.
You're letting an amnesiac testify?
Have no fear. I have already questioned him at length. While it is true he has utterly forgotten his name and past, his memory of what he witnessed is still very much intact.
And probably ripe with holes. Mapley has posted a couple of pictures. Hold on a second. Okay, that is definitely dork. What was the last one? Oh, friggin' hell. Okay, it's one of those, like, you know, sentence to meme things. Friend, I hate anime. Me, have you seen anime? Nope, I only watch TV shows. What's your favorite? Riverdale and The Big Bang Theory? You are not a clown. You are the entire circus. Ah, great.
Hey, look, buddy, I'm an engineer. That means I solve problems.
It's a little bit like that, yeah. Somewhat. Besides, Putrid One, didn't you let a parrot radio an orca onto the stand? Let's just forget about that. Anyway.
Considering the dearth of information, any new knowledge may be of help. Therefore, I will permit his testimony. Now, Mr. Hermes, please tell us what you saw.
Oh dear, not problems like what is beauty, because that would fall within the purview of your conundrums of philosophy. You get the idea.
Frankly, I kind of just want to stick with that. Like, yeah, I kind of want to make him engineer.
Sentry going up.
Night of the murder.
That night I was up at the top of Mount Pawnee Pawnee, the mountain next to the inner sanctum. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace. I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the right at the inner sanctum. That's when I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger. Hey, look, buddy, I'm an amnesiac. That means I lost my memory.
There's no way you saw Miss Faye stab the victim with a dagger. I swear I don't know what he's talking about. Or don't remember at any rate.
Mount Pawnee Pawnee, the beautiful mountain that is also known as the Little Sanctum.
They must be talking about that smaller mountain from the poster. Yep.
Mr. Amos, I was wondering, what can I do for you?
What can I do you for, Riley?
The inner sanctum lies at the high elevation where clouds and fog can obscure the view. Are you sure you were able to see what happened from the mountaintop next to it?
Good point. His Majesty raises an excellent question. Well, Mr. Amos.
On the day of the riot, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. I had a perfect view. If you don't believe me, check the weather forecast in the paper that day.
Nick, don't we have the newspaper for that day? Yeah, let's take a look. Area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. The warm temperature will make for an excellent prayer weather. Be warned, however, that we'll see a cold front move in overnight. It does say calm, clear skies, doesn't it?
See? Told you so. Cream gravy.
Hey.
Well, it would appear the witness has offered testimony worth hearing.
Mr. Amos, I too have a question for you.
Didn't he already question the witness?
Well, that's what I'm here for, right? Shoot.
How was the accused holding the dagger? Was she holding it underhanded, its blade protruding from the bottom of her hand?
Yep, I believe she was. It's called a reverse grip.
Ah, I thought as much.
Hold it right there! What bearing does that have on this case?
Butterfly! Cease your interruptions, you putrid-headed lawyer.
All I'm thinking is that one episode of SpongeBob.
Shut your mouth, you mediocre clarinet player.
Mediocre? Oh, Maple Leaf says, also, when I saw the leg image with Snatcher, oh god, including the voice, wanted to make the clip with Het Kid with a terrified yet concerned voice, but you forgot about it. No, that's a very reasonable reaction. That, for sure.
Do you not see the significance in how the blade was held?
Why don't you enlighten me, oh enlightened one?
There is no enlightening him. I know you are a fool. I can already picture you in your next life.
Next life.
Yes, after your soul rise for centuries in the pits of hell, you shall be reborn as a witless sea urchin with barbs limited to your posterior? You shall live a short, inconsequential life only to be brutally devoured by a sea otter.
That was a bit excessive. I simply asked what the dagger grip had to do with the case.
Now pay attention. How the accused held the dagger is of vital importance. With such information, we can infer exactly what actions she took. You were saying that the victim was killed while he had his back to the accused. Is that correct?
Yes.
As such, the accused's dagger grip tells us something very important. The accused approached the victim from behind, swung her arms around him, and plunged the dagger deep into his abdomen using a reverse grip.
What?
Thus, Mr. Emus' testimony clears up any doubts that might remain.
Why are we laughing? And it coincides with Her Benevolence's insights as well.
This is a disaster. I thought I'd blown these insights out the water, but now they're back to haunt me. Oh, God. What makes a good conductor? If I were a bad conductor, I wouldn't be sitting here filming train movies now, would I? Oh, wait, no, that was the, no, that was the medic. Sorry. What makes me a good conductor? I don't know. I'm trying to remember where that quote comes from in TF2. Ma'am! Why are we laughing? This is a disaster. Ace Attorney in a nutshell. Oh, it's from the Demo Man, right. What makes me a good conductor? If I were a bad conductor, I wouldn't be sitting here filming train movies, now would I? Anyway.
Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness.
The first time you saw the image, it immediately thought of this. That is very long-legged burb. I approve. Anyway, the night of the murder. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and save just because I feel like that's probably a good idea. Top mountain, Potty mountain next to the intersect. Are you sure you're not mistaken, Mr. Emus? Was it really Mount Pawnee that you climbed? How many mountains are out there? Probably a lot, but you know.
Oh, I'm sure of it. It was a real Pawnee-ish mountain.
What does that even mean?
You know, now that I think about it, it was a mighty fine view. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace.
If you hate crowds, why bother climbing to the top? Couldn't you just as easily prayed at the bottom of Mount Pawnee?
Wrong, bucko. This is a once-a-year epic event. I wanted to pray as close to the actual thing as possible.
If you're so gung-ho about it, why didn't you go pray at the Plaza of Devotion?
Like I said, I hate crowds. Wanted to pray in peace.
Oh, Holy Mother, why do I get the annoying ones?
And my burning faith demanded that I climb up the mountain closest to the inner sanctum. Also, I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around...
Since nobody was around, there is nobody who can corroborate your actions either.
You're exactly right.
In that case, Mr. Emus, let me ask you this. Was there a reason you didn't want to be seen?
About that, if you get caught climbing the surrounding mountains on the day of the ride, you can get in big trouble.
That's it.
Yeah, it's totally embarrassing getting yelled at when you're a grown-up.
Yeah, you're a real grown-up, all right.
Since nobody was around, I lost all inhibition and I used my binoculars to spy on the right at the inner sanctum.
You had a pair of binoculars with you? That's pretty convenient. You weren't planning to spy on the right all along, were you?
Actually, I just happened to have them for bird watching.
Bird watching, huh? I see. You're not going to keep pressing him on this. He's sketchy as heck, but I don't really have anything I can really sink my teeth into yet. Oh, okay then.
I love the great outdoors. That's just the kind of guy I am. The guy called Anonymous TBD.
He's really starting to get on my nerves. Really? He didn't get on your nerves before? He's been on my nerves for several freaking episodes now. Anyway.
As I looked through my binoculars, I couldn't believe what was unfolding before me. That's when I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger.
Hold it!
Did you really see what you say you did?
Are you saying I'm lying about this? Well, I'm not. It's etched permanently in this old noggin.
But I didn't do what you say I did. I didn't even get a chance to touch the dagger on the day of the rite.
What do I know of that? All I know is what I saw. I've never even seen you before in my life. What possible reason could I have to lie?
I didn't expect there to be any witnesses way up there. But I don't remember doing that at all. I know. I have a feeling the witness is lying. There has to be an inconsistency somewhere in his testimony. I should take another look at the court record. Whoa, okay. Well, we've taken a look at all of that stuff. Just for an extra layer of safety, I'm going to save, since I don't know if I've opened up, like, a dialogue option or something. But anyway, that night I was up at the mountaintop, Mount Pani, mountain next to the inner sanctum. Hate crowd, so I climbed up there to pray in peace. I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the right at the inner sanctum. I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger. So the only thing I can think is that we might want to start, like, on the real early stuff. Like, you know, I don't think we have anything on the case, but maybe we can poke some holes in the location of where he was. I was up at the top of Mount Pani, the mountain next to the inner sanctum. Let's think about this, because we do have... We have this. A poster in the high priest's house shows the inner sanctum and Mount Pani. Let's take a gander at this. Okay, so the interesting thing is that Mount Pani is shorter than the inner sanctum. By a considerable amount, I must say. Well, okay, just enough. Like, enough meters that I would say it's considerable. So, there's... It's definitely next to the inner sanctum, so we'll give it that. But... I kind of want to say, in theory, he shouldn't have been able to see anything, considering the ritual curtain. Oh, Bush says, I noticed a hole for one of his statements. Well, we'll see. Like I said, the ritual curtain specifically isolates it from the outside world. The entrance was shut during the rite. And I feel like he wouldn't have been able to see it in that case.
Objection!
Ah! Please take a look at this piece of evidence. Anything come to mind? Oh, no. Well...
Did the defense have something he would like to say?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to say something. That fell on deaf ears. Shoot. Okay, alright. Hate crowds. No, it's a no-no since I was around. I used my binoculars to spy on the right at the inner sanctum. Maybe, okay, perhaps this is nothing. That night I was up at top of Mount Pani mountain next to the inner sanctum. Maybe I presented on the wrong thing. I used my binoculars to spy on the right at the inner sanctum. I feel like this might have something to do with it, though. And let's think. I feel like you wouldn't have been able to spy on it because of the ritual curtain.
Objection!
There we go. Your Majesty, I had my doubts about this bushy, bearded witness, but now I know we can't trust him.
What? You ain't just judging me solely on my bodacious beard, are you?
Not at all, Mr. Remus. It's much more than your sketchy appearance. It's your sketchy testimony.
His testimony, you say?
Yes. Recall how the inner sanctum was that day. Specifically, that it was completely enclosed by the ritual curtain.
Why, yes, I believe you're right.
The curtain would have completely blocked the witness's view from Mount Pawnee Pawnee. Therefore, he couldn't possibly have seen the murder happen.
Hooah! Mr. Emus, have you been knowingly making false statements to this court? Hey, you got me! The witness will lower his voice. I didn't actually see the accused herself.
He didn't actually see the accused herself. What's that supposed to mean?
Let me set the record straight, I beg you.
Oh, do tell. Shadow says, another good old case of you can't use binoculars to see through objects. Fog and curtain. Anyway.
I saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon that was clear and still night. She was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused reverse gripping the dagger.
Bullshit. Shadows? That's what you saw?
That's right. I could see what was going on by the shadows projected on the ritual curtain. In the future, Mr. Emus, I would rather you offer up accurate testimony from the start. Now, forgive me, my main man, Mr. Magistrate, chalk it up to my fuzzy memory.
Though he saw but shadows, it is still valuable testimony.
You have to be kidding me. What are we gonna do now, Nick? All I can think of is to look for inconsistencies between the actual Wright and what Mr. Emus says he saw.
Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness once more.
Let's think about that one. Why would he not be able to see any shadows? I mean, the lamp clearly broke at one point. I don't know. Saw shadow silhouettes. I'm just going to go ahead and save just because it's very safe and good. And it is a nice habit to have, just in case you do something stupid. Anywho. So what you saw were simply shadows?
That's right. Those shadow figures on that bright white curtain, they showed through plain as day. I could see everything that happened.
But Miss Fay and Abbott Inme were at the top of a mountain late at night. The only light up there was coming from 4 small lanterns. How could the shadows have been projected that clearly onto the curtain?
No wonder people harp on you lawyers. You're always so dang skeptical. The lanterns weren't the only sources of light, you know.
Shadow says, is it just me, or do the sculptures in the back near the door kinda look like garlic bulbs? Cue Wario laughing. I don't
Figures were created by a light of the full moon on that clear and still night.
I already know what I'm going to present here, but I'm going to press him anyway. Wario's court. You claim to have seen shadowy figures that were projected onto the ritual curtain. But did you really see them, Mr. Hemus?
Of course I did. The bright moonlight projected them onto that curtain clear as day. It was like watching a scene out of a horror movie from my front row seat on Mount Pawnee Pawnee.
I guess the moon does shine a bit brighter when you're way up there. Maya, do you recall how bright the moon was that night? I remember there weren't any clouds and that the moon was definitely out. But I don't remember it I don't remember if I could cast any shadows. It could cast any shadows. Words! Okay, thanks. We can't deny that the moon was really bright, which means it's possible that it was bright enough to cause shadows to appear.
I remember it just like it happened.
Now that I think about it, actually, that statement might not be the thing I'm presenting on, but let's see.
She was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused reverse gripping that dagger.
Hang on. How do you know it was Miss Fay if all you saw were shadows?
There was a little bun on top of her head. Didn't need to see her face. That distinctive Bob's a dead giveaway. Never underestimate my keen sense of observation. That's one funny haircut.
God damn it. It's not nice to make fun of a girl's hairstyle. I like my hair this way. Besides, you're one to talk, you Sasquatch.
You're not into this wild, manly look I'm sporting. Shows what you know, little girl.
Nick, isn't there some kind of crime you can charge him with? I'm afraid it doesn't work that way. Now he claims he only saw shadows. His testimony has sketchy written all over it. Then there must be an inconsistency in there somewhere. Yep. Was he really watching everything from Mount Pawnee? If so, then I should see how his testimony lines up with the conditions of the rite. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking this might have something to do with. Shot the shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still... Alright. Let's think about this for a second. Newspaper from the morning of the purification rite. It reports on the weather and Lady Kira's activities, among other things. So, yes. Let's see. The area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. The warmer temperature will make for excellent prayer weather. Be warned, however, that we'll see a cold front move in overnight. So, could the cold front itself be, like, could that be enough? I know a cold front is just a lot of cold, wet, you know, it's just cold air. That's about it. I feel like that's not enough. Because, like, there has to be a reason why he wouldn't have seen shadows. But let me just think about that one. If nothing else, I will definitely present the other thing. But let me see. Well, there's the mountain range poster. Let me take a look at this. Kind of wish I knew what direction the moon was at the time. Shadow says, I'm not going to ask if I need like hints anymore. Just ask if I... Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. If I'm completely stumped, I will definitely ask, but I'm just kind of thinking at the moment. I don't really have any proof to directly say that it's just like, no moonlight would shine up there, you asshole. At least I don't think so. The only thing that I really have that even sort of links to weather is this. You know, figures are created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night. Well, I mean, there was going to be a cold front, but that doesn't really necessarily mean clouds. We'll see.
Objection!
Nope. Please take a look at this piece of evidence. Anything come to mind? Nope. I'm an idiot. Well...
Did the defense have something he would like to say?
Oh, yeah, no. Okay, well, alright, that wasn't it. So what could be? Alright, let's think about this again. I saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night. She was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused reverse gripping the dagger. Alright. And the hint that we're given at the end here is... Only saw shadows. His testimony has sketchy written all over it. There must be an inconsistency. Yep. Was he really watching everything from Mount Pawnee? If so, then I should see how his testimony lines up with the conditions of the rite. So... He specifically says it has something to do with the moon, but... Let's take a look. Actually, wait a minute. Probably not this. 3 parts. Robes, incense, right guide, right water. I don't think that would have anything to do with it. And the bloodstained letter is probably nothing. Prayer flags. Prayer flags found outside the ritual curtain. They have been sewn together to a long banner. It's apparently, figures were created by the light of the full moon with the curtain. Hope-de-doop-de-doop-de-doo. Okay, well... Could it have anything to do with just this? This image here? Because I'm trying to look at this and see like if I could see anything weird. And honestly, I'm having a hard time. Out of shits and giggles, I'm going to try and... well, hold on a second. Let me just read all of these things again. Saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. So there's a part of me that kind of thinks that it might have something to do with the ritual curtain, actually. And it would be shadows that would be projected onto it. Hello, Franco. How's it going? Shadow says, this is unrelated to the case. Can I click on that mountain poster because you want to see if you can read it? Oh, okay. Ta-da! It lines up fairly well. I kind of feel like I just want to try and just like toss things at the wall and hope something sticks. I got like 2 life. I might as well just burn it. I'm going to restart at the exact same place anyways, and this seems to be fairly simple. Okay. So there's a thing about wind. You know, like just the compass up there. I don't know if that would have anything to do with it. For some reason, you can't spell the word translate. Which is kind of an irony in and of itself. You know what? Screw it.
Objection!
Let's just throw things at him and eventually see if it'll work. Consult. This is kind of cheating, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. Looks like you can't count on your bluffing skills to save your butt this time. Yeah, this is a tough one. Well, to me, there's something about this one statement that seems off. Yeah, it does sound a little strange, doesn't it? Thanks, Maya. I'll take another look at the evidence. You can always count on me. Ooh, and is it going to highlight the thing? Okay. The figurines were created by light of the full moon on that clear and still night. All right. We attempted to try and show the newspaper, and that did not work.
Objection!
That's correct. Okay. Well, I hate to be a cheaterson, you know, cheating out of my cheat hole, but I think now would be an excellent time to screw with time and physics itself. It's not going to give me all my life, it's just going to give me a good chunk of it back. Hello, Capcom. How's it going? I hope Capcom is enjoying their time and their day. Oh, whoop. Yes, please. Anyway, I believe I had like 3 hit points at this point. Yes, I do. So, figurines were created by the light of the full moon, clear and still night. Right.
Objection!
The guide. Let's see why it's correct. You saw silhouettes projected by the moonlight? Sorry, but that's just not possible.
Well, what do you mean? Is it not possible that it was totally... It was totally possible. That's impossible.
Possibilities endless. I think I'm going to need a logicalese translation on that. Let's take a look at this Wright's guide, shall we, Mr. Hemus? The rite is held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pawnee... Oh. Oops. So if the moon was shining from the west, any shadows would have been cast eastward. But Mr. Emus was standing to the west of the inner sanctum of Mount Pawnee.
Oh, holy mother!
That's right. Our witness here couldn't have seen any shadowy figures on that curtain.
Yeah, no. No way! Perhaps it was the sacred flames of the lanterns that cast the shadows he saw?
I'm afraid not. I inspected them during my investigation, but the flames were too small to cast that crisp, distinct figure Mr. Emus claims to have seen.
But I did see those silhouettes. Really,
But how could he, Nick? Maybe he was someplace where they were visible. Wait, don't tell me. Your Majesty, if Mr. Emus really did see those shadows, it brings a brand new fact to light.
And that would be...
The brand new fact that comes to light if Mr. Emus really did see those shadows is... he was somewhere else. He wasn't where he claimed to be at the time of the murder.
Oh, then where do you propose the witness was?
Someplace where he could have seen the shadow figures, naturally. Wait, you mean... None of the mountains east of the inner sanctum are close enough for a good view. That leaves only one place he could have clearly seen the shadows from.
And where might that be?
This is where Mr. Emus was at the time of the murder. The Plaza of Devotion. The High Priestess' home. The inner sanctum. Mr. Emus was at the inner sanctum, just outside the curtain on the east side. That's the only place from which he could have seen the shadowy figures. Everyone's angry. Really? Wow, I didn't even think of that.
But wasn't the inner sanctum off limits to all but the victim and the accused?
And the third party who was there, you mean? I get the feeling that's a subject Prosecutor Sadmati would rather not touch right now. He seems pretty cool and collected, despite that.
You mean?
That's right. This witness was at the scene of the crime, which means he is the mysterious third party we saw during the divination seance. He could be the one who dressed as Lady Kira and killed the High Priest.
Oh, yeah! What?
Surprise!
No one but the two participants were allowed anywhere near the inner sanctum, and the only way up there are the stairs that start down the Plaza of Devotion. So tell me, how do you propose the witness entered that sacred space?
Oh, he must have, I haven't thought of that ahead.
The sanctum has sheer cliffs on three sides and a steep, towering rock face on the other. No one could have made it there by climbing the faces of those cliffs.
His Majesty speaks true. To say Mr. Hemus was at such an inaccessible location is but a bid to tarnish his credibility.
Frickin' butterfly boy.
Is that not right?
Right, I wasn't at the inner sanctum. No, sir, no how. At least, I'm pretty sure I wasn't.
Then what about those silhouettes you claim to have seen?
Starting to think I've been imagining things.
What? This is insane! Great, so can we throw him out of the court now? He clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. I knew he couldn't trust a warder. He's trying to frame the witness.
Peace, peace, I say.
Good news, you read most of the characters. Bad news, apparently it doesn't mean anything. I think it's supposed to mean something, though, so you'll keep trying. Now Yuna's new nickname, Butterfly Boy. This is impossible. Unless I can show how he got to the inner sanctum. It just looks like I'm trying to slander Mr. Emus. I believe in you, Nick. Of course you do. Rah, rah, sis boom ba. Fight, fight, Phoenix Wright. Just look at the accused. Has she no shame? What's your problem? Oh, that was a lady. Never mind. What's your problem, lady? Phoenix Wright is very trustworthy, I'll have you know. Jay's got some nerve for a criminal. I bet that lawyer poisoned her mind. Please, Maya, you're only making it worse. I appreciate the vote of confidence, but it's probably best to keep it to yourself for now.
I would advise the defense to think carefully before making any more sudden outbursts.
That's impossible, Your Honor, but I have saved states for days. Yes, Your Majesty. If I wasn't the bad guy before, I definitely am now.
Now, Mr. Emus, I would like you to think back carefully before you testify next about where you were that night.
Here thine go. Wasn't that the Okay, yeah, please tell me where were you then?
I was never at the inner sanctum, I tell you. That much I'm sure of it, even with the fuzzy memory. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place. Boy, you lawyers sure are scary.
I'm gonna push that something fierce. I guess it might have been impossible for him to get to the inner sanctum like he claims, but...
Now you will desist in trying to frame this innocent witness?
Yeah, I'd like to see you explain how he got up there.
Mr. Wright, is it not time to end these cross-examinations?
I'm allowed them, though. So shut your pie hole and allow me to speak.
A moment of desperation leads to 100 million years of torment. It means that for each moment a sinner spends struggling to deny their sins, 100 million years of torment are added to their time in hell.
Kyrianism is the strictest religion ever.
And just so you know, you've already accrued 20 million extra years.
Plus the 500 billion years they started with. That's 700 billion. Sure, what's another 200 million, give or take? Well, it's a big deal to me. I can't keep saying that the witness was there at the inner sanctum if I can't prove it. The problem is, how am I going to do that? Well, let's try. Shadow got the word Kurain out of it. Cool. Wasn't at the inner sanctum. All right, well, let's see.
Never at the inner sanctum, I tell you.
Are you sure you weren't there?
All I'm sure of is that you're deeply skeptical. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, are lawyers always like this?
Most certainly.
Shut up.
They always try to pin crimes on innocent witnesses without any proof whatsoever. They are no better than bacteria or viruses.
Yes, you mean he's contagious? He's gonna give me lawyeritis.
Okay, this is getting ridiculous.
Whew, that was a close one.
Where did he get those and how did he smuggle them into the court?
He almost put me there at the scene of the crime when I wasn't even there. That much I'm sure of, even with the fuzzy memory.
You just said your memory was fuzzy.
I sure did. What's the big deal?
I'll tell you what. Your testimony isn't very credible if your memory of the event is fuzzy.
Oh, no worries there. My memory may be fuzzy, but I'm very clear on one thing.
Here we go again.
If you ask me whether or not I remember what I did that night, I'd say I do. In short, you are confident that your testimony is true. Is that correct, Mr. Emus? Exactly. Guess you don't get to be a judge for nothing. So in closing, I can clearly say that I was totally not there. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place.
I wonder if it really was impossible for you to get to the inner sanctum.
If you have something to say, just say it.
Couldn't there have been another way to get there? A way that wouldn't attract attention?
No, there isn't.
Of course not. Which means there is.
Perhaps the defense would share its theory with us?
I don't even have a wild guess, let alone a theory, though. Time to reach into my bag of bluffs. To reach the inner sanctum without attracting any attention, he climbed up the cliff. He came from the plaza. Yeah! Well, cliff's too steep. Couldn't have come from the plaza. He fell from the sky. Maybe you fell from the sky? I think I'm just going to give him Mr. Krabs' laugh, because frankly, that's hilarious.
Lawyer thinks he's a comedian now.
I was wondering what crazy theory you would propose next. Well, defense, let's hear it.
Mr. Emus could have, parachuted down. We already know the weather was clear, and there was no wind to speak of. Perfect weather for skydiving, I'd say. He fell onto the scene like Groose. Yes, the Groose is loose.
Now that you have been backed into a corner, your delusions grow even more delusional. The inner sanctum is on a tiny ledge upon a sheer cliff over 2,000 meters tall. One misstep and a skydiver would soon find themselves in the Twilight Realm.
Yeah, I don't care how still the wind was, even I could have made that jump.
Wait, what's this building on top of the Sacred Mountain?
This is Royal Penitentiary number 4.
Oh, right. Princess Rayfa mentioned there was a prison up there. How do you get your prisoners up there anyway?
By helicopter, but only with authorization from the Minister of Justice. He is the only one who can approve flights that pass over the inner sanctum.
Noted.
Might I also add, defense, that no parachute or any other equipment necessary for skydiving have been found.
Are you saying I flew down there by flapping my arms? I may be incredible dude, but even I'm not capable of that.
Well, please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Amos. Oh, really?
It's not like I can fly through the air either.
You wouldn't need to flap your arms if you had some gear.
As I have already stated, nothing of the sort was found in or around the scene of the crime.
I'd sure like to see some of that so-called gear you're talking about.
I know, but was there really nothing like that at the inner sanctum? What if there was something that could have been used as a parachute? I should give the evidence another look.
You continue to claim that the witness was at the inner sanctum. Yet said claim shall remain but a claim without any supporting evidence, Mr. Wright.
Yes, I realize that, Your Majesty. If I can't find any inconsistencies, guess I can always try to elicit some more testimony. Shadow says, I think thinking in dragons should be an actual term for mental state at this point. Are you thinking he's a dragon? Boy, you lawyers sure are scary. Boom! Now hold on, lawyers aren't scary!
But you're saying I was at the inner sanctum when I wasn't. Anyone who'd try to frame an innocent man like that is scary in my book.
Lawyers are scary! Lawyers are scary! It's a setup. It's definitely a setup. I'm not trying to set anyone up. Oh, I am trying to fix my video feed. Hold on a second. I'm going to provide evidence and explain exactly how it was done.
The gallery speaks true. They know the depth of a lawyer's sin and the poverty of his virtue.
There may be some bad apples, but we're not all like that, you know. Don't worry, Nick. I'll still root for you, no matter how morally bankrupt you become. Ah, well, where the hell were you when I was presenting false evidence? Thanks a bunch, Maya. Mr. Emus wasn't at the inner sanctum, or more precisely, couldn't get there? I don't see a way out of this. Yeah, these kind of debates only get worse if you argue them the wrong way. I'll have to pry some conclusive testimony out of him, and then present some evidence. Like when you're trying to catch frogs from a pond. Once you've got a grip on one, you'd better hold on tight. Right, something like that. Shadow says, actually, exactly that. Yes, like an actual flying dragon, which made his comment about, I can't fly obsolete.
I can also breathe fire.
Anyway, it's not like I can fly through the air either. I think I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing here, but just in case, because safety is important, I'm going to go ahead and slap that down. And then I'm going to present this fun little thing.
Objection!
Yep. Mr. Emus is right. He couldn't have skydived down there without any gear.
Well, now, finally come around, have you? Now you see I couldn't have possibly been there at the inner sanctum.
Right. If you didn't have any gear, that is.
What on earth are you talking about?
That overreaction is a dead giveaway that I'm on the right track. Take a look at this piece of evidence.
Those are prayer flags, are they not?
Yes, but they have been sewn together to create one big banner. A banner that could also function like a parachute. The people of Kurain are so used to seeing prayer flags that the police didn't even think twice about these flags during their investigation.
No, this cannot be.
The witness landed at the inner sanctum by using these prayer flags as a parachute. Is that not right, Mr. Emus?
There's no way out. I'm surrounded.
Mr. Emus.
All these talks jogged my memory. I guess I was there at the inner sanctum after all.
Oh, God. Got it. Shadow says, very off topic, I made a code sign language for absolutely no reason, but I apparently memorized it so quickly that I dreamed I was using it. Wait, whoa, wow, neat. Deny! As I suspected, there were 3 people there at night. You did it, Nick! You weren't wrong after all! Thanks, just call me Mr. Wright, sir. I plead the 5th. No poking your way out of this one. Mr. Emus, you were the one disguised as Lady Kira that night, weren't you?
No way, no how. It's like this. Oh, yeah. I was only there at the inner sanctum by accident.
By accident?
Exactly. And that thing's not a parachute. It's a homemade paraglider.
A paraglider? Are you telling me you could fly using that patchwork mess of material?
It may not look like much, but it's as sturdy as can be. I rode the wind like an eagle, going higher and higher from my earthly launching point. But then something happened that forced me to land at the inner sanctum.
So you just happened to land there? You expect me to believe that?
But now, please calm yourself, Mr. Wright.
I'm sorry. I've been the one making all of these, crackpot theories and such, and now this dude's saying it, and somehow we're like, no, let's give him a chance to talk.
However, the fact that the witness was at the inner sanctum is crucial testimony indeed. And it clearly warrants further explication. Therefore, let's continue with more testimony.
Very well. Shadow says, the dream you apparently forgot the sign for "Are you okay?" So you accidentally signed "Let's go." Whoops. I don't know. You're a novice. You don't know the language as good as, everybody else. Despite the fact that it's yours.
That evening, I was enjoying a trek through the night sky with my homemade paraglider. But just as Mount Ponipani was drawing near, something terrible happened. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the inner sanctum. As I landed, I banged my head, causing me to lose my memory. So you see, I ended up at the inner sanctum purely by accident.
Mr. Emus, you failed to mention any of this during your pre-trial questioning.
It can't be helped. I'm just remembering it now.
Continue such slipshod testimony, and you will be cast into the hell of hangnails, where you shall have hangnails grown and ripped out for 800 million years.
Ow! I think I'll pass on that.
Looks like that caught Prosecutor Sadmati off guard. This is my chance to rip his case to shreds, just like a bunch of hangnails. Sorry. Here we go. We got a pretty nasty cross-examination now, I think.
That evening, I was enjoying a trek through the night sky home there.
You were enjoying a trek through the night sky with your homemade paraglider? You didn't go to pray?
A devout Curianist like me can pray anywhere, even while flying through the sky.
Oh my god. Okay, all I'm imagining now is, just somebody who's Muslim who is, practicing Muslim beliefs and attempting to try and pray the exact same way a Muslim would by, crouching down. How do you do that in the sky? Good lord. Okay.
I wouldn't recommend you try it. You're bound to end up dead.
A paraglider? I didn't see anything like that.
That's because of the ritual curtain. It blocked your view. You should have seen me, majestically soaring between the mountains.
Really? What do you think, Nick? Don't ask me.
I was really enjoying that flight. At first, anyway. But just as not Mr. Ponipani, Mount Ponipani was drawing near, something terrible happened.
Something terrible happened?
Exactly. And when I say terrible, I mean terrible.
What? Was there something unexpected near Mount Ponipani?
What was it again?
Wait, you don't remember?
Let's just say it was terrible. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the inner sanctum.
What exactly was this accident you had?
Good question. Now, what was it again? Wind? Oh yeah, it was the wind. Not just any wind, but a sudden gale force wind. Made me lose control.
The wind was strong enough to make you lose control?
You got that right.
Okay then, please add that to your testimony. Funny Stuff says, applies giant mustache to Mount Ponipani. You are Mr. Ponipani now! Good lord. Have you seen, okay, this might be spoilers for Super Mario Odyssey, but for God's sakes, if you haven't played it yet, play it. If you get, all the power moons from everywhere, if you go back to the castle, you could see a gigantic hat on top of the castle. That's all I can think with that one. Just a giant stash.
Gale force winds came out of nowhere, so I made an emergency landing at the sanctum.
Had the wind been blowing the whole time around the mountains?
Yep, just the right amount of wind for paragliding.
Shadow says, all that comment made you think of was, you are Hagrid now.
So that sudden gale force wind was a real shocker.
I see. So, a decent wind had been blowing until then.
Right. A paraglider's not much use without a decent wind.
I think he's lying through his freaking face.
As I landed, a bang in my head, causing me to lose my memory.
Where at the inner sanctum did you land?
That's easy. Where the paraglider ended up.
I guess that makes sense. So outside the ritual curtain, on the side where the moonlight shadows were cast.
But right as I landed, I hit my head on a rock. I lost both my consciousness and my memory.
Something seriously wrong with this guy. You didn't think the first time? Anyway.
So you see, I ended up at the inner sanctum purely by accident.
You're lucky to be alive after an accident like that.
Yeah, I'm just a lucky kind of guy. It's times like those that separate the men from the boys.
Wow, I'd say you were incredibly lucky. Almost miraculously so.
If you got something to say, just say it.
All right, Mr. Amos. It wasn't an accident, was it? You landed at the inner sanctum on purpose.
Well, what the? No, it was an accident. I'm telling you. You don't even have any proof, so stop making things up about me.
His testimony's like a moving target. Okay, Nick. Time for some evidence. You know, really grab him by the scruff of his neck. One thing at a time, Maya. First, I have to find an inconsistency. Where there is constantly changing testimony, there are bound to be discrepancies and other issues. And I think I know just the issue we're looking for here. Anyway. Gale Force winds. Yes. Gale Force winds came out of nowhere, so I made an emergency landing at the sanctum. Yeah, I mean, technically, could you say that, yeah, I'm definitely saving just because I'm not 100% on this one. But Gale Force winds came out of nowhere, so I made an emergency landing at the sanctum. Well, let's take a look at this real quick. The area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. The warmer temperatures will make for excellent prayer weathers. Be warned, however, that we'll see a cold front move in overnight. I mean, there's nothing specific about wind in any way, shape, or form about that. I do know that there was wind that was located in the, the inner sanctum bit where we were looking at the seance. But I feel like this is a good lead.
Objection!
There we go. We have a saying in my country, Mr. Amos. One lie begets another.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means someone caught lying will lie again in an attempt to conceal their first lie. In other words, this current testimony is just a blatant lie you're telling to cover your tracks.
What did you just say?
You claimed gale force winds caused you to lose control, but the newspaper has the weather report for the day of the murder. It says, the area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today.
Paul Kuka! Why, I do believe it does say that.
One lie begets another. That makes sense, but is it really a saying back home? I've never heard of it. Yeah, I kind of made that one up. Again, flying by the seat of our pants. Proof that you can't spell, and you attempted to try and type in Google Translate, and it spelled Google Translate. I've done that kind of thing before. There's certain words that, like, I'll try and type out, and I'll just, like, I'll type the exact letters in, but I'll accidentally type them in, like, in, like, random spots. I'm like, how the hell did I get that so wrong? Phoenix didn't make it up. It was Mia saying, yeah, but that's just one saying. Oh, Maple Lace BRBing. Sounds good. For real? Your Majesty, the witness's testimony contains another flaw. One that's even more fatal to his cause.
More fatal, you say? The defense will explain himself at once.
Mr. Amos claims he was flying up around the inner sanctum with his paraglider, but would have been impossible to get all the way up there without any wind.
Why, yes, I believe you're right. But we know the witness was at the inner sanctum, so... Mr. Amos, how did you get there and from where?
Without any wind, he couldn't have flown up there from the bottom of the mountain. By process of elimination, the only starting point that makes any sense is... Your Majesty, I believe I have the answer to your question. To reach the Inner Sanctum, Mr. Emus must have launched himself from here. Way to spell it the hell out. Are you insane? Sorry, that was kind of like old man there. Are you freaking... Are you nuts? I can't understand a word you're saying. No. Are you insane? Anyway, that's where he came from. If he couldn't have come from below, the only other option is from above. So you see, a non-Emus came down from Royal Penitentiary number 4. From there, he could have easily reached the Inner Sanctum by parachute. And that means he might have also killed the High Priest.
What?
Mr. Emus, were you the third party at the Inner Sanctum? And the one behind the warning to halt the right that the victim received? Was it you we saw in his final memory? Are you the rebel hunter, Lady Kira? Okay, are you going to transform now? Okay, now you've accidentally typed it out. Ugel Itasnas. Ugel Itasnas. Is that your code that you were talking about? Because I feel like it's a pretty good code. What magical spell are you trying to cast? Yes, funny stuff.
Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, sir, help me out here.
He fell asleep. You did it! You finally left him speechless.
Oh, come on, Mr. Prosecutor, man.
Quiet, you fool. You should use this time to prepare yourself for what is to come. For a fate far worse than hangnail, hell waits you now.
That's all I can think he's saying, just like...
Well done, defense. I must concede this point to you. The witness did, in fact, descend to the Inner Sanctum from Royal Penitentiary number 4.
Huh? He didn't even put up a fight this time. That's awfully generous of him. Shadow says, I wish it was a spell, but I think it's me that's cursed. Anti-life shell! Wall of force, maybe.
But if you are as perceptive as you seem, then surely you've already figured out the riddle. The riddle of a non-Emus's true identity.
Yeah, I kind of already know. Oh, his true identity. Not sure I know quite yet, but I guess I'll have to answer with something.
It would seem I am the only one still in dark here. Would the defense care to enlighten me? Okay, who is this man we've been calling a non-Emus?
The witness's true identity is... Yeah, this is telegraphed from a mile away. Wanted poster describing the escaped prisoner. Mentions a sizable reward. Is this really him?
Only now do you realize the truth.
I feel for Judge. I think everybody does. He just wants to know. He wants to be a part of the drama, too.
Well, please do share with us your belated insight.
What's wrong, Nick? Just say it. Because this isn't going to be very helpful to our case. Really? Are you sure? Unfortunately, I've got no other choice. That scruffy beard and shaggy mane completely threw me off. But it's all becoming clear now. The nighttime base jump from the mountaintop prison, the precision landing at the Inner Sanctum using only a homemade parachute. Oh, he looks grim and angry. I mean, you know, behind all that hair. Only a paratrooper, or more precisely, a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off. This witness is That's Horrible. That's horrible. That's horrible. Prison escapee and key member of Dirk's rebel group.
What? Yeah. The witness is an escaped prisoner?
Precisely. The police have been scouring every corner of the city to no avail. Meanwhile, here he was under our noses the entire time.
Oh, didn't think anyone would see through my clever disguise.
But the witness's charade is not all that has been shattered. Is it? Defense.
Boy, do I hate this guy.
Please recall the defense's own words.
Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the high priest. The letter said, "Do not perform the rite." But the rite went on as scheduled. I believe this is why the high priest was murdered.
Who do you suppose sent that letter?
A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. Daz, one of your favorite characters in the game. He's very silly.
He claimed that the real killer was the rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira.
Yeah, and what's your point?
What of the witness's true identity?
Only a paratrooper, or more precisely, a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off. This witness is That's Horrible, prison escapee, and key member of Dirk's rebel group. Oh no!
He is a rebel and an escaped prisoner. He could not possibly have been Lady Kira, mortal enemy of the rebels.
No! What? Bullshit. Have you never heard of a disguise?
Now, perhaps the witness will enlighten us to the truth. After all, he has yet to refute any of this.
Hoo-ha! You got me. I'm the razor-sharp fangs of the Defiant Dragons. Rough. That's Arbol.
When did you get your memory back?
Oh, around the time you guys were talking about there being no wind. But you gotta give me credit for making up all the testimony at the top of my head.
Are you prepared to tell us the truth now?
Well, it's true I parachuted down to the inner sanctum, but I banged my head on impact and ended up unconscious outside the ritual curtain. In short, all my eyewitness testimony was a big fat lie.
A big fat lie!
Oh, and by the way, long time no see, Yudi.
Oh, shoot. We're working on a nickname basis. Cool. Wait, they know each other?
Your Majesty, this filthy rebel belongs in a jail cell.
Oh, yes, of course. Bailiff, seize him at once. Seems you really have forgotten the will of the dragon, huh, Yudi?
He is a dragon.
I haven't, and no dogs of the Garan regime are gonna lay a finger on me. Hell, you... Oh.
Deploy all available resources. I want all units placed on high alert. How little security is there here that you just let him run out like that? The mysterious sixth member of the Ginyu Force. Yes.
The escaped prisoner escaped again.
How about that?
The police force has been placed on high alert. He will be caught before long.
An escaped prisoner who's escaped the law again after giving a ton of false testimony. Talk about a troublemaker. You really pulled a number on all us. What was the point of all that anyway?
Well, I can't help but feel the entire episode was an enormous waste of time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been doing this stream for how long? Are you really gonna say that you wasted my time? God forsaken.
Your Majesty, perhaps it was not as great of a waste as you might believe.
What makes you say that, Prosecutor Sodmati?
Dat Arbal dropped something as he made his escape from these halls.
Ooh.
That scrap of paper looks awfully familiar.
These appear to be direct orders from Dirk.
From Dirk, the rebel leader? Oh, but we only have a small corner of it.
That was Phoenix, not the judge. Oops. Wait, I remember now. Your Majesty, I've seen that scrap of paper before.
You have?
The scrap of paper Dat Arbal dropped is a part of this. Hold up. Don't suppose it's that. Probably not. Letter we found in the inner sanctum. Giant bloodstain makes it impossible to read in full. I feel it's probably not the bloodstained letter in any way. Do you think it might have to do with this? No. No. Mm-mm. I'm trying to remember. Honestly, a little perplexed. I don't really remember where that thing was. Okay, well, let me think back here. There's the newspaper. The autopsy report. Anything in the autopsy report that I should know about? No, I don't think so. At least nothing to do with this. I doubt it's the bloodstained letter, because the bloodstained letter looks like it's full, it's whole. Was there something in the inner sanctum photos we should be talking about or thinking about? I'm not seeing any, like, random messages inside here. Yeah, you guys have any ideas? Because I sure don't. It's a part of... I don't have anything ripped. You didn't show up in time to help. Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. It's a ripped part of my badge! No. You're on your own! I don't think it would have anything to do with this. I wish I could, like, take another quick look at it. Shows High Priest body, shoveled out area of snow, lantern with a broken wind guard. It might actually be the letter, maybe. I guess. I'll try it. Really? I don't see anything ripped on this. Alright, fine.
And this is...
I guess this is the only letter that's obscured, so okay, here we go. I found it at the scene of the crime. It appears to be a copy of the order that Mr. Arbal dropped. If we put the two together, we should be able to read what the order says. Oh, how goddamn convenient for us.
Oh my! And just what does it say, Mr. Wright?
Moonspeak, I can't read this. I can't read Kyrianese.
Prosecutor Sodmati, if you please.
Moon runes. You're laughing too hard while watching us stumble over the letter. I don't know. It doesn't look ripped or anything or destroyed or I knew it was something that was obscured, but I'm like, really? We're pulling this out now? Okay.
The ignorant lawyer has not bothered to learn our language? Very well, then. We are going to start the instructions on how to read it here, off of this tapestry. Okay, first, this is Ung. Okay, can you say Ung? Ung. Now write it down.
It says, Bane of Arthropods 2. God damn it. I've not been playing I've been playing way too much Minecraft.
I do not understand.
Well, what does it say?
Using the lamp lights as a landmark, he was to parachute down to the inner sanctum. Upon the rite's completion, he was to don Lady Kira's robes and make his escape.
What? That is how he was to escape from prison?
So if I were to assume that Mr. Arabal was the one who killed the High Priest, then maybe it was because Abbot Inme tried to thwart his escape plan.
Oh, foul lawyer, I'm afraid that is simply ludicrous.
But I didn't say anything. Did he just read my mind? I think he's done it before, to other people.
I know how your putrid mind works. Unfortunately for you, however, now that the rebels' escape plan has been revealed, it is clear that Dats Arabal is not the High Priest's killer.
How can you be so sure?
Butterflies, bitch.
No.
If only you would use that putrid brain of yours every once in a while. Dats Arabal's plan could not have worked without the help of a certain individual.
What do you mean?
I am speaking of Abbot Inme, of course. Had Dats Arabal simply donned Lady Kira's robes and made his escape alone, he would have been far too conspicuous. But were he by the High Priest's side, the faithful citizens praying in the plaza would have had no cause to suspect anything. It is therefore unthinkable that Dats Arabal was the High Priest's killer.
So then you're saying the High Priest was a... Oh, I cannot bear to say it.
I'm afraid it is so. He numbered among the rebels who threatened our kingdom.
How could this be?
The High Priest, a rebel? There must be some kind of mistake.
Let it go and move on. Accept the truth. It is the only way. And that goes double for you, Defense. Cease your futile battle now.
And why should I?
Because I will now put the final nail in the coffin of the accused. Now that we have eliminated Dats Arabal from our list of suspects, there is only one person that still remains. The accused Maya Fey.
Really? Hold it right there! Aren't you forgetting something important?
Something important? Please do explain, Defense.
We can't end this trial without looking into the arrow, the murder weapon, the third party. We haven't found the murder weapon. So, I'd have to say that's probably something that we definitely need to talk about. It's a blood-stained letter that happens to be a copy of the ripped piece of paper. It's definitely contrived. The definition, yes. I freaking agree. Just like, really? Yeah, murder weapon, man. What about the murder weapon? We haven't found it yet.
What does it matter if it has been found or not? The fact remains that the victim was killed with it by the accused.
I also fail to see how that would be important, Mr. Wright. This, however, is.
Hey, I'm sorry. I think it's kind of important.
Seems there's no need to continue this trial any longer.
No, Your Majesty, there's still something important there must be brought to We can't end this trial without looking into the arrow. The third party. Third party? I'm talking about the true identity of the Lady Kira we saw in the seance vision. If that wasn't Dats Arabal, then who was it?
That matter has already been resolved.
It has? What's he talking about?
It is as I have maintained from the start. There was no third party in the seance vision.
But there was another Lady Kira there besides Maya Fey. We all saw her. Oh, Jesus. What the? These are gonna explode, aren't they? I can't do my finger points. Oh, God. He's taken away my only power.
差し抜けたれかせよそのか
Great. Am I going to have a broken arm as well as a broken back?
It is time to let it go and move on. Your fate has already been sealed, much like your arm.
This hardly seems fair. I didn't realize magic was allowed. Yeah, I mean, hey. Think about this. This is a Curaine trial, like Curaine. And yeah, we just saw like a seance literally on the floor of a bunch of like magic and mysticism. So yes, it is absolutely allowed.
It is quite simple once you consider where the victim and the accused were at the time. If the victim was near the spring with his back to the accused, what would he see ahead?
Besides the water itself, there's nothing but the war daub statue.
Precisely. The Lady Kira we saw in the seance is the Warbod statue draped in her sacred robes.
Holy shit. That's stuff I would pull out of my ass.
The accused wanted to false Lady Kira to appear in the seance vision. Before, she came from behind and stabbed the victim with the dagger in a reverse grip.
But why would the accused want to do something like create a false Lady Kira?
To show it to the victim as he was being slain.
And what reason would the accused have to fool the victim she was about to kill?
It was not the victim she was trying to fool. It was this very court itself.
Come again?
Suspicion would not fall on the accused if it looked as if another Lady Kira was there. And the defense was foolish enough to fall for it and claim it was a third party in disguise.
Are you saying?
I am. It was all a cleverly wicked scheme, perpetrated by the accused. A scheme in which she sought to use the seance vision to mislead us.
Maya, how could you? This can't be happening.
What a face you are making, Defense. I am surprised you are taking this so hard. After all, did I not clearly state a while back that you are chasing after naught but a deluded fantasy? Something has occurred to me, you see. And your allegations of a third party are but a deluded fantasy.
You did, but I didn't believe you. You're telling me he knew this is how it would turn out all the way back then? And that he was just waiting for the most effective moment to spring it on me?
Do you understand now? I have had you dancing in the palm of my hands this entire time.
Frickin' lies. It can't be.
This is an outrage! You took our royal priestess's sacred divination seance and used it to commit this most foul and despicable murder?
No! I did nothing of the sort! Maya, Nick, it's not true. I didn't...
Cease this ugly display. Your fate is sealed now that the facts have been exposed. Your Majesty, the time has come to convict this criminal who only seeks to taint this sacred hall.
Indeed. It seems this trial is over. Does the defense wish to offer up yet another counter-argument or something?
The accused is not the killer. And, here's why. Now, what do? I've got nothing.
It would appear that the defense has run out of arguments to make.
I thought for sure that the Revel was the killer. The only person with a possible motive, the one dressed as Lady Kira, has vanished. And I've got nothing to use against Prosecutor Satmadhi's argument. Damn it, I can't lose now. Not like this.
Very well then, I shall now render my verdict.
Wait! Please, wait! I'm begging you!
It is time to let it go and move on.
This trial need not be drawn out any longer. The defense has failed to counter the charge filed by the prosecution. In accordance with the law, I invoke the Defense Culpability Act against the defense. Now then, the court finds the accused, Maya Fey, and the defense, Phoenix Wright.
Jesus! Ah! No! Someone stop this crazy bastard!
You know who would really help right about now? A gigantic bobid woman who could help me get out of this jam!
Your Majesty, please forgive the interruption, but... Oh, hi. I think I gave this guy, like, a Nord Skyrim voice, but...
What is the meaning of this? A body has been found in the Plaza of Devotion, Your Majesty.
What's this? A body! What's happened now?
And we found this sticking out of the victim. Why, that's Lady Kira's Warbod dagger.
Hello! Lady Kira, she has returned from the Twilight Realm. She has come to defeat the rebels.
Peace!
Well, it would seem the dagger that was once lost has now been found.
I have one more thing to report, Prosecutor Satmati.
Yes.
This dagger is in me. No, it bears the fingerprints of Ma.
What the fuck? What? But... Why would Maya's prints be on it? Don't rub it in our face.
I cannot believe it, yet it must be true.
Is something the matter, Prosecutor Satmati?
This trial has run its course and the accused's guilt has been firmly established. However, it would seem the defense was right about one thing.
I was?
You claimed that the murder at the Inner Sanctum had been carried out by the rebel hunter masquerading as Lady Kira.
I did say something to that effect, but what of it?
Prosecutor Satmati, are you suggesting what I think you are?
I believe the true identity of the rebel hunter who has been masquerading as Lady Kira is none other than the accused Miss Maya Fey.
What? Me?
What?
How? What? I'm so confuzzled. Help! Are we gonna have another trial?
I realize how shocking this must seem. Looking back, however, I now realize there was much that pointed to this fact. The rebel hunting Lady Kira was first sighted about 2 years ago, and the accused first came to our kingdom 2 years ago as well.
Why, the timing matches perfectly.
But there is more. That warning letter was found in the High Priest's bedroom 3 days before the rite, despite his house being locked up tight that night.
How does that prove anything?
It is difficult to believe an intruder could have found a way to enter such a secure house. However, the accused was known to come and go freely there, mainly to prepare for the purification rite.
Okay, back. What did you miss? We're guilty. Abbot Inmi was an important figure with a ton of duties, including training acolytes. He was really kind, even to a foreigner like me. He even invited me over to his house whenever I was between training sessions. Okay, good.
The accused could have easily left the house unlocked for herself without anyone noticing.
No! It's stacking against us. Someone burn this whole court down.
If we assume that the accused was Lady Kira, that more establishes her motive for killing the High Priest.
Yes, the victim was secretly an insurgent bent on helping Datsarabal escape after all.
Precisely. That made him a target of Lady Kira's wrath. And after killing the High Priest, she then unleashed her divine justice on another rebel. So, it seems the scope of this case has expanded. We now have 2 murders perpetrated by Miss Maya Fey masquerading as Lady Kira.
Someone get me off this crazy train. I want down.
If Miss Fey is indeed a serial killer, it would affect the severity of her punishment. In light of this, I believe this second murder must be investigated before we can proceed.
As you wish, Your Majesty. Maya Fey, I hereby charge you with this second murder. May your defiled soul feel the weight of your sins.
A new murder charge on top of a guilty verdict.
It seems the defense will live to see one more day.
Talk about hanging on by a thread.
Come tomorrow. A far more terrible punishment awaits you.
I hereby suspend these proceedings so that the second murder may be investigated. Until the conclusion of this new investigation, this court is adjourned.
Whoa! Got by on the skin of our teeth. To be continued. Holy hell. You know what? Good timing, because we just hit the 3-hour mark, and I think this is a good time to leave us all on a fun cliffhanger. Oi, oi, oi. This is insane. Look, we're literally already guilty. I don't think the tension could be any higher at this point. But I guess we gotta figure out what the heck happens on the next episode of Bit and Ball Zarb. Next episode. We die, maybe. Hope not. I really hope not. Okay. Oh. Well, I have not eaten anything yet, and I'm actually really glad that we are finishing this up here. But yes, what will happen? Who will end up being this mysterious masked... I don't know. This is going to be weird. Oh, no. No, it is cool. Okie dokie. Right, yeah. I think I don't have anything else that I need to be talking about here. Well, aside from my regular outro stuff. So, thanks everybody for coming out to watch the stream. I appreciate a heck of a lot of it. Go eat. Go have a bit of bites. Ooh. Ow! Oh my god. All right, so now I need to start working on trail mix. Funny stuff, I swear to freaking God. Stop it. You're changing up the entire itinerary of what I'm doing here. Here, hold up. Where are you? I'm still trying to learn my way around the controls of this. Anyway, yeah, Funny Stuff has just donated 1 bit. Exactly 1 bit. To show up in the credits. Thank you. I guess I should be thankful, I suppose. Anyways, so if you want to take a look at this episode after it's done, I'm going to be uploading this to the YouTube channel sometime after processing and all that kind of thing. 1 Twitch burger buck. It's more like a Twitter cent. But regardless, semantics. I stream on Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays, all of them starting at around 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Like I said before, very likely it's not going to be Smash, although I am really jonesing to do that. I hope the turn of the season, getting closer to it, will finally bring us some cooler weather so I can dive in. Because, yeah, I sweat like a pig whenever I'm in there and there is, no AC and, it's in the middle of, a heat storm. Until then, I don't know, I'm kind of jonesing to play Wandersong again, so that's probably what I'm going to be doing next Sunday. As for next Wednesday... Not 100% on that one. I guess we'll see when I come to it. I know that I really badly need to get back on doing some Hat in Time mods. So there's something that I could potentially do. I've got so many I need to cover. Holy shit. Okay, I'm going to head off. Again, thank you very much for coming out. See you next time.